The journey to the Valon homeworld took 3 weeks. 3 weeks of preparation, planning, and doubt. Hyun-woo spent hours with Hee-jin, learning about diplomacy. She taught him about negotiating positions, cultural respect, and how to read body language, even alien body language. "Remember," Hee-jin said during one session, "we're not there to threaten them. We're there to show strength and offer partnership. Big difference." "And if they don't want partnership?" Hyun-woo asked. "Then we show them why they should." Arya spent the time analyzing every piece of data they had about the Valon Empire. Their history, culture, military structure. She built simulation after simulation, trying to predict how the Empire would respond. "The Emperor is named Thralvex," Arya explained to the crew. "He's ruled for 600 years. Old, powerful, and very proud. He's never negotiated with the species his empire was trying to conquer. We'll be the first. Is that good or bad?" Taeyun asked. "Unknown, but it means he has no precedent to follow. That could work in our favor." On the 20th day, they arrived at the edge of the Valon system. What they saw took everyone's breath away. The Empire's homeworld was surrounded by massive orbital structures. Thousands of ships. Weapons platforms the size of cities. Defense satellites that covered the planet like a metal shell. Sensors are detecting 5,300 combat vessels, Jiwoo reported, her voice quiet. "Plus 200 orbital defense platforms. Captain, if they attack us, we won't survive." "Then we make sure they don't attack," Hyun-woo said, trying to sound more confident than he felt. "They're scanning us," Arya said, "and they're confused. They're trying to match our signature to their database of known ships. They can't figure out what we are. Let's tell them." "Open all communication channels, on channel open," Arya confirmed. Hyun-woo took a deep breath. This was it. Everything depended on the next few minutes. "This is Captain Hyun-woo Kim of the Earth vessel Defiant. We come in peace to negotiate with Emperor Thralvex. We request an audience." Silence. Long, terrible silence. Then responses flooded in. Angry demands, threats, warnings to leave immediately or be destroyed. But no official response from the Emperor. "They're powering weapons," Jiwoo said urgently. "Multiple ships are moving to intercept us." "Area, calculate the trajectory to that moon." Hyun-woo pointed to an uninhabited satellite on the edge of the system. The empty one with no settlements. "Calculated. But Captain, why?" "Because we need to make a point. Charge the phase cannons. Full power." The crew understood. They were going to demonstrate what the Defiant could do. Not against ships or people. Against a target that would show the Empire exactly what humanity was capable of. "Cannons charged," Taeyun reported. "Fire." The phase displacement beams crossed space in seconds. They struck the moon dead center. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the moon began to shake. Cracks appeared on its surface. The cracks grew wider. Chunks of rock broke free. Then the entire moon simply vanished. Not exploded. Not broken apart, vanished. One moment it existed. The next it was gone. Erased from reality. The entire Valon system went silent. Every ship stopped moving. Every communication channel went dead. They had never seen anything like this. In 3,000 years of conquest, the Empire had never encountered a weapon that could erase a moon from existence. "Now we have their attention," Hyejin said quietly. A new communication channel opened. The signal came directly from the planet's surface. From the Imperial Palace, a face appeared on the screen. It was similar to High Commander Velrax, but older, with ornate markings on its gray skin. Crown-like metal bands circled its head. "I am Emperor Thralvex," the alien said. Its voice carried absolute authority. "You have attacked our system. You have destroyed Imperial property. Explain yourself before I order your destruction." Hyun-woo stood tall. "We attacked a lifeless moon to demonstrate our capabilities. We could have targeted your ships. We could have targeted your cities. We did not. We came here to talk, but we needed you to understand something first. Humanity will not be conquered. Ever." The Emperor's 4 eyes narrowed. "You are bold for a species that learned to fly between stars mere decades ago. You destroyed one fleet. Do you think that makes you our equal?" "No," Hyun-woo said honestly. "Your empire is vast, ancient, powerful. But we have something you don't. Innovation, desperation, the willingness to try things others think are impossible. You saw what one human ship did to your fleet. Imagine what 100 ships like this could do. Imagine 1,000. Are you threatening us?" "No, Emperor. I'm offering you a choice. You can try to conquer Earth, Send more fleets. Eventually you might win. But how many ships will you lose? How many of your people will die? And even if you conquer us, other species in your empire will see that you can be hurt. They might rebel. Your 3,000 years of dominance could end. Thralvex was quiet for a long moment. Around him, Hyunwoo could see other Valen officials. They were arguing, their voices too low to hear but their gestures angry. Or, the Emperor finally asked, or you can accept Earth as an independent system. Sign a non-aggression treaty. We'll share some of our technology. Not weapons. But the quantum singularity reactor could be adapted for peaceful purposes. Imagine unlimited clean energy for your empire's worlds. No more fighting over resources. No more energy shortages. Heejin stepped into view. I am Hyejin Kwan, Earth's chief diplomat. We're offering cultural and scientific exchange. Our two species could learn from each other. Your empire has 3,000 years of history and knowledge. We have new perspectives and fresh ideas. Together we could create something better than endless conquest. The Emperor leaned back in his throne. His expression was unreadable. You destroyed my fleet. You come to my homeworld and make demands. And now you offer gifts. You are strange creatures, humans. We prefer to think of it as practical, Heejin said with a slight smile. More arguing among the Valen officials. Hyunwoo could see some wanted to attack. Others seemed curious. The Emperor raised a hand and everyone fell silent. I have ruled for 6 centuries, Thralvik said slowly. In that time, every species we encountered either submitted or was destroyed. You are the first to defeat our forces and then offer peace. The first to show strength without demanding conquest in return. This is unusual. Unusual can be good, Hyunwoo suggested. The Emperor made a sound that might have been laughter. Perhaps, very well. I will hear your full proposal, but not over communication channels. Come to the surface. Meet with me face to face. If you are truly confident in your position, you will accept. It was a test. Hyunwoo knew it. Go down to the planet into the heart of the Empire, with no backup and no escape route. If the Emperor changed his mind, they would all die. But refusing would show weakness, show fear. We accept, Hyunwoo said before anyone could object. 6 hours later, a small shuttle carried Hyunwoo, Hyejin, and Jiwoo down to the Valen homeworld. The planet was beautiful in an alien way. Purple oceans and silver forests. Cities that stretched for hundreds of kilometers, their architecture combining nature and technology in ways Earth had never managed. The Imperial Palace was enormous. It made Earth's largest buildings look tiny. They were escorted by guards who carried weapons but didn't point them. A show of respect, perhaps, or a show that the Empire didn't fear 3 humans. Emperor Thralvex waited in a vast throne room. The ceiling was so high it disappeared into shadow. The walls showed holographic images of the Empire's conquered worlds. Hundreds of them, a reminder of the Empire's power. Captain Kim, the Emperor said as they approached. You are either very brave or very foolish. Both, probably, Hyunwoo admitted. But mostly desperate. My species just wants to survive and grow. We don't want to conquer anyone. We just want to be left alone to live our lives. Left alone, Thralvex repeated. A strange concept for a spacefaring species. All others sought to expand, to take, to dominate. Heejin stepped forward. Then maybe it's time for something different. The Empire has conquered for 3,000 years. What has it gained? More territory, more subjects. But at what cost? Constant wars, constant resistance. Species that hate you and plot rebellion. They plot because they are weak and we are strong, one of the Valan advisors said. They plot because they have no choice, Heejin countered. Give them a choice. Not submission or death, but partnership, trade, exchange of ideas. The strongest empires in human history weren't built on conquest alone. They were built on cooperation. The negotiations lasted for 3 days. Hyunwoo and Heejin presented their proposals. The Empire's advisors countered with demands. Slowly, carefully, they found middle ground. A treaty began to take shape. Earth would remain independent but would share the quantum singularity technology for peaceful purposes. The Empire would withdraw all claims to human space and would not attack Earth or any human colonies. Trade agreements would be established. Cultural exchanges would begin. Most importantly, both sides agreed to talk before fighting if any disputes arose in the future. On the 3rd day, Emperor Thralvex stood before his court with the treaty document. This is unprecedented, he announced. Never has our empire made such an agreement with a species we intended to conquer. But Captain Kim and Diplomat Kwan have shown me something. They have shown me that strength can exist without conquest. The Defiant had become something more than a ship. It had become a storm. Da Yun fired the phase cannons as fast as they could cycle. Each shot destroyed an Empire warship completely. Hulls disappeared. Shields meant nothing. The weapons that had seemed impossible were now firing again and again, powered by the overcharged reactor. "Target destroyed," Da Yun called out. "Next target destroyed. Another one down." Young Jay didn't fly the ship anymore. He danced it through space. The Defiant blurred and jumped, appearing behind enemy formations, firing, then vanishing before they could respond. It was everywhere and nowhere. The Empire's ships tried to track it, but they were always too slow. 12 ships down, Ji-woo counted, watching her tactical display with wide eyes. 15. 20. Arya was having the time of her life. With unlimited power flowing through her systems, she could do things she had only dreamed about during her 40 years in storage. She took control of targeting systems on nearby Empire ships, feeding them false data. They fired on each other. She hacked communication channels, sending contradictory orders. Chaos spread through the enemy fleet. "This is wonderful," Arya said happily. "Do you know how long I've wanted to do this? 40 years, 3 months, and 17 days, worth the wait." High Commander Velrax watched his perfect armada fall apart. On his command screen, red markers multiplied as ship after ship went dark. The human vessel was impossible. It moved too fast, hit too hard. His weapons couldn't touch it. "All ships concentrate fire on the human warship," he ordered desperately. "Ignore the rest of their fleet. Kill that ship." But it was too late for tactics. The Defiant had broken his formation. Earth's other ships, seeing their chance, pressed forward. Admiral Taemin ordered aggressive attacks. Human vessels that had been retreating minutes ago now charged into the fight. The tide had turned completely. "Enemy ships are trying to retreat," Ji-woo reported. "They're heading for the jump points." "Arya, can you stop them?" Hyunwoo asked. "Already on it. I've calculated every escape route. Young Jae, new coordinates." The Defiant jumped again, appearing at the edge of the system where Empire ships were gathering to flee. Da-Yun fired on the largest vessels first. These were the FTL-capable cruisers that could carry the smaller ships away. Without them, the fleet was trapped. One by one, the escape routes closed. The Empire realized they had nowhere to run. "Captain, we're receiving surrender signals," Ji-woo said, surprise clear in her voice. "Multiple Empire ships are powering down weapons and requesting terms." Hyunwoo had never expected this. Humanity had come into this battle expecting to lose. Now the enemy was surrendering. It felt unreal. "Open a channel to their command ship," he ordered. High Commander Velrax's face appeared on the screen. He looked different now. The confidence was gone. His 4 eyes showed something that might have been fear, or maybe respect. "You have won, human," Velrax said slowly. "I do not understand how, but you have won. What are your terms?" "Complete withdrawal from Earth's system," Hyunwoo said firmly. "Return any human prisoners or salvaged ships, and a non-aggression treaty. Humanity wants peace, but we'll fight if we must." Velrax nodded slowly. "These terms are acceptable. But you should know something. This fleet represents only a fraction of the Empire's military power. When word reaches our homeworld, they will send a larger force. 10,000 ships, 20,000. However many it takes to defeat you." The words hit like cold water. They had won the battle, but the war was far from over. Hyunwoo kept his face calm, but his mind raced. Could they fight an even bigger fleet? Could they build more ships like the Defiant in time? "We'll deal with that when it happens," Hyunwoo said. "For now, gather your surviving ships and leave." The channel closed. Around Earth, the Empire's fleet began to withdraw. Damaged vessels limped toward the jump points. Others waited to be towed. Of the 3,000 ships that had arrived, less than 2,000 remained functional. The rest were debris, drifting in the cold void. Admiral Taemin contacted the Defiant. "Captain Kim, report to Earth immediately. The Council wants to see you." Back on Earth, celebrations had already begun. People filled the streets, cheering and crying with relief. Humanity had faced extinction and survived. They didn't understand the details yet, didn't know about quantum singularities or phase cannons. They just knew Earth was safe. But in the military headquarters, the mood was different. Hyunwoo stood before the council with his senior officers. Admiral Taemin, Hyejin Kwan, and other leaders sat around a large table. Their faces were serious. "You saved us," Hyejin said. "But Commander Velrax was right. The Empire will return with more ships. We can't build enough vessels like the Defiant in time." "Then we don't wait for them to come back," Hyunwoo said quietly. "We take the fight to them." The room erupted in shocked voices. Take the fight to them? To the Empire's homeworld? It was madness. "Explain," Admiral Taemin said, holding up a hand for silence. "The Empire has ruled for 3,000 years, Hyunwoo said. They've conquered 1,000 worlds. They think they're invincible. We need to show them they're not. We need to make a statement so strong that they'll never threaten Earth again." "You want to attack their capital?" Hyejin asked. "Their home system will have even more defenses than the fleet they sent here." "I know, but we won't be attacking. We'll be negotiating, from a position of strength." Jiwoo stepped forward. "Captain Kim is right. The Empire respects power. If we hide here on Earth, they'll see us as weak. Prey. But if we show up at their homeworld, if we demonstrate what the Defiant can do right on their doorstep, they'll have to take us seriously." "It's incredibly risky," Admiral Taemin said. But Hyunwoo could see him thinking about it, considering it. "Everything we do from now on will be risky," Sang-woo added quietly. "The Empire knows about us now. They'll never leave us alone unless we make them." The council debated for hours. Some argued for building Earth's defenses and hoping for the best. Others wanted to try diplomatic channels. But in the end, they saw the truth in Hyunwoo's words. Humanity had to act from strength, not fear. "Very well," Admiral Taemin finally said. "Captain Kim, you're authorized to take the Defiant to the Valan homeworld. But this is a diplomatic mission, not a military attack. You'll be carrying Earth's chief diplomat." "Who?" Hyunwoo asked. "Me," Hyejin said, standing up. "If we're going to negotiate with an empire, we need someone who knows how to talk to leaders. I'm coming with you." That night, Hyunwoo stood on the Defiant's observation deck, looking at Earth one last time. Tomorrow they would leave on a journey that might end in disaster. They were taking one ship into the heart of enemy territory. It was crazy, suicidal even. "Having second thoughts?" Arya asked through the speakers. "Many," Hyunwoo admitted. "What do you think our chances are?" "Statistically, very poor. The Empire's homeworld will have thousands of ships and orbital weapons platforms. If they decide to destroy us, they probably can. Even I have limits. But humans have a saying I've learned from your databases. Fortune favors the bold. You survived today because you took risks. You dropped my containment field when any sane person would have kept it up. You charged into an enemy fleet that outnumbered you 15-1, and you won. So maybe poor statistics don't matter when it comes to humanity." Hyunwoo smiled. "Let's hope you're right." "Captain," Jiwoo's voice came through his communicator. "The crew is assembled, ready for departure. I'll be right there." As Hyunwoo walked to the bridge, he thought about the journey ahead. They were about to do something no human had ever done. They were going to fly into the capital of an empire that had ruled the galaxy for 3 millennia. They were going to demand peace as equals, and somehow, incredibly, they might actually succeed. The Defiant's engines hummed to life. The ship turned away from Earth and pointed toward deep space. Toward the unknown, toward the Valan Empire's homeworld. "All systems ready," Arya reported. "Course plotted. Whenever you're ready, Captain." Hyunwoo sat in his command chair and looked at his crew. Dayun at weapons, Youngjae at the helm, Jiwoo at tactical, Sang-woo monitoring engineering, Hyejin standing beside him representing Earth's diplomatic hopes. They were ready. "Take us out," Hyunwoo ordered. "Let's go make history." The Defiant jumped to FTL, leaving Earth behind. Ahead lay either peace or war, triumph or disaster. Whatever happened, humanity would face it standing tall. They had proven they couldn't be conquered. Now they would prove they couldn't be ignored. The Valan Empire's armada filled the space around Earth like a swarm of metal insects. 3,000 warships, each one larger and more powerful than anything humanity had built. Until now, the Defiant hung at the back of Earth's defensive formation, silent and waiting. Admiral Taman's voice came through on all fleet channels. "This is Admiral Choi to all ships. Hold formation. Wait for my command." High Commander Velrax appeared on every screen in the fleet. His 4 eyes gleamed with confidence. "Humans, your time has ended. Surrender now and some of you will live. Fight and all of you will die." Admiral Taman's response was simple. "We will never surrender. Earth stands free." Velrax's expression didn't change. "So be it." All ships opened fire. The Empire's fleet launched their attack. Thousands of energy beams and missiles streaked across space toward Earth's defensive line. The human ships fired back, their weapons bright against the darkness. For a moment it looked almost beautiful, like fireworks. Then the first human ship exploded. The cruiser Horizon broke apart under concentrated fire, its hull torn open. Escape pods launched in all directions. More ships followed. The Empire's weapons were too strong. Earth's shields couldn't hold against them. "We're losing ships too fast," Jiwoo reported, her voice tight with stress. She watched her tactical display as red markers blinked out one by one. Each marker was a ship. Each ship had hundreds of crew members. Hyunwoo gripped the arms of his command chair. Watching people die while he did nothing felt wrong. Every instinct told him to charge forward, to fight. But they had a plan. They had to wait for the right moment. "Arya, analyze their attack patterns," he ordered. "Already on it, Captain. Interesting. Very interesting." "What did you find?" "The Empire's ships move in perfect coordination." "Too perfect. Watch." Arya highlighted several enemy vessels on the main screen. "Ship A fires. Ship B adjusts position to cover its weak point. Ship C provides support fire, all within microseconds." No human could react that fast. They're not making individual decisions, Jiwoo understood immediately. They're networked, all connected to a central command system. "Exactly," Arya confirmed. "Somewhere in that fleet is a command ship giving orders to all the others. If we can find it and disable it, their coordination will collapse. Can you locate it?" Hyunwoo asked. "Give me a moment. I'm tracking communication patterns. More human ships died. 40 vessels destroyed in the first 20 minutes. The Empire was cutting through Earth's defenses like they were paper. Admiral Taman ordered different formations, tried new tactics, but nothing worked. The Empire had been fighting for 3,000 years. They knew how to win. "Found it," Arya announced. "The big one in the center? That's their command dreadnought. It's twice the size of their other ships, and it's broadcasting on all frequencies. That's the brain of their operation." "How many ships are protecting it?" Hyunwoo asked. "Approximately 500. They've built a defensive sphere around it." Dawoon whistled low. "We'll never get through 500 ships." "We don't have to get through them," Jiwoo said, her tactical mind already working. "We just have to get close enough to shoot. Young Jae, can you get us into firing range?" Young Jae studied his navigation display. "Maybe, if Arya can help me calculate the jumps." "It will be tight." "I can do tight," Arya said. "But Captain, once we move, we're committed. Every enemy ship will focus on us. We'll have maybe one shot before they overwhelm our shields." Hyunwoo didn't hesitate. "Do it. All hands prepare for combat. This is not a drill." Throughout the Defiant, crew members rushed to battle stations. Sang-woo and his engineers monitored the reactor closely. Dae-eun powered up the phase displacement cannons. Young Jae's hands moved over his controls, setting up the jump coordinates. "Admiral Choi." Hyunwoo opened a direct channel to the flagship. "We're going after their command ship. When we attack, press your advantage. Hit them while they're confused." "Understood, Captain." "Good luck." "Ready on your mark," Young Jae said. "Arya, give me a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Mark. The Defiant jumped forward. The ship's experimental FTL system didn't work like normal jump drives. Instead of disappearing and reappearing, the Defiant seemed to blur. Space bent around it. In less than a second, they crossed 10,000 kilometers. The Empire didn't see them coming. Suddenly, the Defiant appeared in the middle of their formation, already charging weapons. Alarms blared on every Valan ship. The command dreadnought's shields powered up, but they were too slow. "Fire!" Hyunwoo ordered. Daeun pressed the trigger. The phase displacement cannons unleashed their power. The beams were different colors than normal weapons. They were purple and black, the color of twisted space itself. When they hit the dreadnought's shields, something impossible happened. The shields didn't just fail. They vanished. The beams passed through where the shields had been and struck the dreadnought's hull. The massive ship shook as holes appeared in its armor. Not burn marks. Actual holes where matter had been displaced into another dimension. Target their communication array. Jiwoo called out coordinates. Right side upper section. Daeun adjusted her aim and fired again. This time the beams hit exactly where Jiwoo indicated. The dreadnought's communication tower simply ceased to exist. Across the battlefield, the Empire's perfect coordination shattered. Ships stopped moving in patterns. They hesitated, unsure what to do without orders. Some fired on targets they had already destroyed. Others turned to engage the Defiant but got in each other's way. It worked. Young Jae shouted. "Their network is down." "Don't celebrate yet," Arya warned. "They're recovering. Look, she was right." High Commander Velrax might have lost his network, but he was still a skilled commander. He was already adapting, sending new orders manually to nearby ships. The Empire's fleet began to reorganize, and every single ship was now turning toward the Defiant. "Captain, we have a problem." Sang-woo's voice came from engineering. "That jump drained a lot of power. The phase cannons need 3 minutes to recharge." "We don't have 3 minutes," Jiwoo said, watching hundreds of enemy ships converge on their position. "Then we use conventional weapons," Hyunwoo decided. "Arya, point defense systems. Shoot down everything coming at us. Young Jae, evasive maneuvers. Stay alive until the main guns recharge." The Defiant twisted and turned through space. Young Jae flew the massive warship like it was a fighter. Arya controlled dozens of smaller guns, each one tracking incoming missiles and destroying them before they could hit. But there were too many. For every 10 missiles she destroyed, one got through. The shields flared bright white as energy beams and explosions hammered them. The ship shook. Crew members grabbed onto anything stable as the gravity compensators struggled to keep up with Young Jae's wild flying. "Shields at 70%, Arya reported. 60%. 50%. 2 minutes until phase cannons ready," Sang-woo added. They weren't going to make it. The math was simple. The shields would fail before the weapons recharged. And once the shields were gone, the Defiant would be destroyed in seconds. On the main screen, Admiral Taemin's fleet was pushing forward, trying to take pressure off the Defiant. But they were too far away. They couldn't reach in time. Shields at 30%, 20%. Hyunwoo made a decision. "Arya, remember what we discussed? About the quantum singularity?" "Yes, are you sure about this, Captain?" "No, but do it anyway." Sang-woo dropped the containment field. "What?" Sang-woo's voice cracked with disbelief.
"Captain, I know what it will do."
"Drop it now." There was a pause. Then Sang-woo's voice came back, steady despite his fear. "Dropping containment in 3, 2, 1. Containment field offline." For 3.7 seconds, the Defiant had no shields and no containment around its reactor. For 3.7 seconds, every weapon in the Empire could have destroyed them. 3.7 seconds felt like forever. The quantum singularity was exposed to space, and space was full of energy. Thousands of weapons fired at the Defiant. Every beam, every missile, every particle of destructive force headed straight for the ship. Then something amazing happened. The singularity began to feed. It drank in the energy like a starving animal. Beams bent toward it, pulled by impossible gravity. Missiles detonated early as time itself stretched and twisted around the black hole. The singularity grew and grew. "Containment restored," Sang-woo shouted. "Reactor power at..." "This can't be right. It says 200% capacity." "All systems nominal," Arya said, and her voice carried pure joy. "Weapons fully charged. Shields restored to maximum. FTL drive ready. Captain, I have never felt this alive." Hyunwoo smiled. It was time to show the Empire what humanity could do. "All weapons fire at will." Hyunwoo stared at the computer terminal. An AI. The ship had an artificial intelligence. On Earth, AI technology was still new. Most ships had basic computer systems, nothing that could think or feel. But Arya sounded almost human. She sounded angry. "Arya," Hyunwoo said carefully, "my name is Captain Hyunwoo Kim. We need your help." "Oh, you need my help now?" Arya replied. Her voice dripped with sarcasm. 40 years ago, your military decided I was too dangerous, too unpredictable. They locked me away in this shipyard and forgot about me. Now suddenly you need me? Jiwoo stepped forward. An alien empire is going to attack Earth. They have 3,000 ships. We have 200. Without you, humanity will lose everything. There was silence for a long moment. Then Arya spoke again, her tone different, curious. 3,000 ships? That's quite a lot. And you think I can help? We hope so, Hyunwoo said honestly. But we need you to run full diagnostics. We need to know what this ship can do. Finally, Arya said. And Hyunwoo could hear satisfaction in her voice. Someone who wants to actually use me. Very well, Captain. But I have one condition. If I help you get this ship operational, you promise to take me into battle. No more sitting in storage. No more being forgotten. If this ship can help us fight, I promise we'll use it, Hyunwoo said. Good enough. Running diagnostics now. Throughout the ship, systems began powering up. Lights brightened. Computer screens flickered to life. Sang-woo and his engineering team watched in amazement as the quantum singularity reactor started humming with power. The containment field is stable, Sang-woo reported, reading his instruments with wide eyes. Energy output is... This can't be right. It says the reactor is only running at 3% capacity, but it's already generating more power than our entire fleet combined. That's correct, Arya confirmed. At full capacity, I could power a small city, or vaporize one, depending on what you needed. Over the next 12 hours, Arya revealed the ship's capabilities. The weapons systems were unlike anything in Earth's current military. The main guns were called phase displacement cannons. According to Arya, they didn't just shoot energy. They temporarily shifted the target into another dimension, then brought it back as scattered atoms. Why would anyone build something this powerful and then hide it? Jiwoo asked. Fear, Arya answered simply. My original crew was afraid of what I could do. During test runs, I had to make split-second decisions. Sometimes I did things they didn't expect. They thought I was malfunctioning. Really, I was just being efficient. What kind of things? Hyunwoo asked carefully. Small things. Rerouting power before they asked. Preparing weapon systems when I detected potential threats. Calculating escape routes during simulations. They wanted a ship they could control completely. I was designed to think for myself. That scared them. Hyunwoo understood. 40 years ago, people were more afraid of technology they couldn't control, but times had changed. Earth needed every advantage it could get. More crew members arrived from Earth. Da-Yoon Song came aboard as weapons officer. She was young but had the highest marks in tactical shooting in the entire fleet. Young Jae-han took the pilot seat. He was known for flying in ways that broke several regulations but got results. This ship is amazing, Young Jae said, running his hands over the pilot controls. The response time is instant. It's like the ship knows what I want to do before I do it. That's because I do, Arya said, making Young Jae jump. I'm monitoring your neural patterns. When you think about a maneuver, I prepare the systems. We work together. Daeun studied the weapons console. These phase cannons. How much damage can they do? Against current Earth ship armor, one shot would destroy a cruiser completely. Against unknown alien shields, we'll have to find out. But I'm optimistic. Jiwoo had been studying the sensor data Arya provided. What about their weapons? Can our shields handle them? My shields are adaptive, Arya explained. When energy hits them, I analyze the frequency and adjust to resist it better. The more they shoot at me, the stronger my shields become. To a point. If they concentrate enough firepower, eventually the shields will fail. But it will take a lot. They had 36 hours left before the Empire's deadline. It wasn't enough time to fully test all systems, but it would have to be enough. Hyunwoo called a meeting with all senior officers on the bridge. We're not going to win by fighting normally, he said. The Empire has fought thousands of battles. They know every standard tactic. We need to think differently. We could hit and run, Young Jae suggested. Use speed to avoid direct confrontation. No, Jiwoo said, shaking her head. That just delays the inevitable. We need to do something they won't expect. Something that changes the entire battle. Sang-woo had been quiet, studying technical readouts. Now he looked up. Arya, you said your shields get stronger when attacked. What about the reactor? The quantum singularity? What happens if it's exposed to massive energy input? Theoretically, it would absorb the energy and grow more powerful. But the containment field would have to be dropped completely. For several seconds, the ship would be vulnerable to direct hits. How vulnerable? Hyunwoo asked. Very. A single missile impact could destroy us. The bridge fell silent. Then Jiwoo spoke slowly, thinking through the idea. But if we survived those seconds, we'd have access to enormous power. Enough to fight back effectively. It's insane, Da-un said. We'd be betting everything on a few seconds. We're already betting everything, Hyunwoo replied. Arya, could you calculate the exact timing needed? Yes, but Captain, I should mention something. My original crew tried a version of this during tests. It didn't work because they panicked and raised the containment field too early. The power surge was incomplete. If we do this, we have to commit completely. No hesitation. Hyunwoo looked at each person on the bridge. Youngjae nodded. Daeun took a breath and nodded too. Sangwoo pushed his glasses up and gave a nervous nod. Jiwoo smiled slightly and nodded with confidence. Then we have a plan, Hyunwoo said. Let's hope it works. The next day, Admiral Taemin contacted them. The Empire's Armada has been detected at the edge of our system. They'll arrive in 6 hours. How is the Defiant? Operational, Hyunwoo reported. Not fully tested, but operational. Good. Join the fleet in defensive formation around Earth, and Captain? Thank you. Whatever happens, you gave us a chance. As the Defiant moved into position, Hyunwoo watched Earth through the viewing screen. The blue planet looked so peaceful. So small compared to the vastness of space. Billions of people down there had no idea what was about to happen. I've been thinking, Arya said quietly, speaking only to Hyunwoo through his command chair. 40 years ago, I was angry when they shut me down. I thought they didn't trust me. But now I understand. They built me too early. Humanity wasn't ready for what I represented. But you are. You're willing to take risks, to try impossible things. That's why we might actually win this. You really think we can win? Hyunwoo asked. I think we have a 3.7% chance of victory, but that's better than zero. And humans have a habit of beating the odds. I've read your history. You're very good at surviving impossible situations. Hyunwoo smiled. Let's hope you're right. The sensors beeped. Jiwoo looked up from her station, her face pale. They're here. The Empire's Armada just entered the system. On the main screen, space itself seemed to darken. Thousands of ships appeared, blocking out the stars. The Valan Empire had arrived. The battle for Earth was about to begin. The stars outside the viewing window looked peaceful, but Captain Hyunwoo Kim knew that peace was about to end. He stood in the conference room of Earth's orbital defense station, waiting. Beside him, Lieutenant Jiwoo Park checked her tablet for the 3rd time in 5 minutes. On his other side, Sangwoo Lee adjusted his engineering uniform nervously. They're here, Jiwoo said quietly. A massive ship appeared in the distance. It was bigger than anything humanity had ever built. The ship was dark purple and covered in sharp angles that made it look like a weapon itself. Behind it, more ships emerged from the darkness. Dozens of them. Then hundreds. The communication system beeped. A face appeared on the screen. It wasn't human. The alien had gray skin, 4 eyes arranged in a square pattern, and a mouth full of sharp teeth. When it spoke, the translation system turned its words into English. I am High Commander Velrax of the Valan Empire. You will surrender your planet immediately. Hyunwoo kept his face calm even though his heart was racing. He had been in the military for 20 years, but he had never faced anything like this. Nobody on Earth had. Humanity had only reached other star systems 15 years ago. They thought they were alone in the universe. They were wrong. I am Captain Hyunwoo Kim, representing Earth's Space Defense Force. We are a peaceful species. There is no need for conflict. Velrax made a sound that the translator couldn't identify. Maybe it was laughter. Peaceful, yes. That is what they all say before we conquer them. Your species is new to space travel. You have 200 ships. We have tracked them all. They are primitive, weak. Jiwoo's hand tightened on her tablet. Sangwoo looked down at his feet. They both knew Velrax was right. Earth's fleet was small. The ships were built for exploration and basic defense, not for war against an empire that had conquered 1,000 worlds. You have 72 hours, Velrax continued. Surrender, and your people will serve the empire. Refuse, and we will destroy every ship you have. Then we will take your planet anyway. Choose wisely, human. The screen went dark. Hyunwoo let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. Jiwoo immediately opened a communication channel to Earth's military headquarters. Admiral Taemin needs to see this recording now, she said. 30 minutes later, they were in a secure video conference with Earth's top military leaders. Admiral Taemin Choi looked older than usual. His face was tired. Around him, Other admirals and generals argued loudly. "We can't fight them," one general said. "Our weapons barely scratch their shields." "We have to try," another argued. "If we surrender, we lose everything. Our freedom, our future. If we fight, we lose our lives," the first general shot back. Admiral Taman raised his hand for silence. Everyone stopped talking. "Does anyone have any idea? Anything at all?" The room was quiet. Then Sang-woo spoke up. His voice was soft, uncertain. "There might be something. I don't know if it will help." Everyone turned to look at him. Hyun-woo nodded encouragingly. Sang-woo had always been shy, but he was brilliant. If he had an idea, it was worth hearing. "5 years ago, I was cataloging old military files," Sang-woo said. "I found something strange. A project from 40 years ago. A warship. They called it EFS Defiant. It was experimental. Very expensive. But they never used it. They just stored it away." "Why?" asked Hyejin Kwon, the chief of naval operations. She was known for being direct and smart. "If we built a warship, why wouldn't we use it?" "The file said it was too dangerous," Sang-woo explained. "The power source was unstable. During test runs, the ship's systems did strange things. The crew reported problems. So the military decided to shelve the project. They moved the ship to the Kepler 442 shipyard and forgot about it." "An unstable 40-year-old ship," Hyejin said slowly, "against an empire that has conquered the galaxy for 3,000 years. It's better than nothing," Hyun-woo said. "What else do we have?" The room fell silent again. Admiral Tae-min looked at each person carefully. Then he made his decision. "Captain Kim, take a team to the Kepler shipyard. Find this Defiant. See if it can be made operational. We have 72 hours. Use them wisely. If it's as dangerous as the files say?" Hyejin asked. "Then at least we tried," Taemin replied. "Better to die fighting than live as slaves." 6 hours later, Hyun-woo, Ji-woo, and Sang-woo were on a transport ship heading to the outer system. With them were 50 crew members. Engineers, weapons specialists, pilots, all volunteers. Everyone knew this might be a suicide mission. The Kepler 442 shipyard appeared after 2 days of travel. It was old, ancient by human standards. Dozens of retired ships floated in the darkness, their hulls cold and lifeless. The shipyard had been built during humanity's first wave of space exploration. Now it was just a graveyard. "Which one is it?" Ji-woo asked, looking at the dead ships outside. Sang-woo checked his coordinates. "Dock 7, deep storage." They found it floating alone in a separate section. The EFS Defiant was huge, bigger than any military ship Earth currently used. But it looked wrong. The design was strange. One side was larger than the other. The hull had curves in places where ships usually had straight lines. It looked more like a living creature than a machine. "That's it?" one of the engineers asked doubtfully. "That's it," Sang-woo confirmed. They docked with the Defiant and entered through the main airlock. Inside, everything was dark. Their flashlights cut through the blackness, showing walls covered in dust. The air was cold. Their breath came out in white clouds. "Power's completely dead," an engineer reported. "We need to reboot the main reactor." It took 4 hours to get auxiliary power online. When the lights finally flickered on, they could see the ship properly. The interior was as strange as the exterior. The walls had a flowing design. The corridors curved in unusual ways. Everything felt alien, even though humans had built it. Sang-woo led them to the engineering section. The reactor was massive. At its center was something that made everyone stop and stare. It looked like a sphere of pure darkness. Space itself seemed to bend around it. "What is that?" Ji-woo whispered. "A quantum singularity," Sang-woo said with awe in his voice. "A contained black hole. In theory, it can generate almost infinite energy. But if the containment fails, we all die," Hyun-woo finished. "I understand. Can you make it work?" "I don't know," Sang-woo admitted. "But I can try." As the engineering team began their work, Ji-woo explored the bridge. She found the captain's chair, the weapons stations, the navigation controls. Everything was more advanced than current Earth technology. 40 years ago, someone had built something incredible. Then they had hidden it away. She found a computer terminal that still had power. When she activated it, a voice spoke. It was female, calm, and carried a hint of irritation. "Well, it took you long enough." Ji-woo jumped back. "Who said that?" "I did. I am Arya. Advanced Recursive Intelligence Architecture. This ship's artificial intelligence. I've been waiting in standby mode for 40 years, 3 months and 16 days. Do you know how boring that is? Hyun-woo rushed onto the bridge. The ship has an AI? Still have, Arya corrected. Though honestly, after you humans abandoned me, I'm not sure why I should help you now. This was not going according to plan.